Good morning, good day. All praise to the Most High, Mashiach Yahushai, on this beautiful morning. Shalom, everybody. Good morning. I just want to come with a quick commentary with everything that's been going on. You know, Elder Zabach, Priest Zabach, Brother Zabach, whatever respectful title you want to call me, as long as it's sincere and respectful. Myself and HOI, you know, we normally don't jump into the fray, the hype, and everything that's going on, the sensationalism and the drama in Israel. But the Spirit just moved me to speak on this, and I'm probably going to do a live on this to get into the precepts and everything. But when you check it out with this whole Gentile salvation thing, brothers and sisters are, you're getting caught up in wordplay. And when I say wordplay, the term salvation and Gentiles. Now, shout out to Deacon, Hassad, Genesis, whatever, you know, this is not really about them and their standpoint. You know, I saw some of what the brothers brought out. I don't totally agree with everything, but I see some points that they're making. I spoke to Deacon and Hassad, you know, the other night, you know. Our conversation was peaceful, whatever. I didn't come at the brother's neck or nothing like that. Whatever. I didn't come at the brother's neck or nothing like that. You know, and, you know, brothers, whatever brother's stance is, you know, that's between them and the Most High. It is what it is, you know, but I'm not going to go at a brother, whatever, if I disagree with what they're bringing out. But anyway, what I want to say real quick was, Shalom Gabar Ash, H-O-I-N-Y and J in the building. What I want to say real quick is, when it comes to so-called Gentile salvation, I think everybody getting caught up on the word salvation or saved. All right, that's where the confusion is coming in. All right. Now we know, if anybody know the foundation of the original doctrine from One West, it was always salvation as far as rulership to Israel. We're the ruling superior nation. We're going to rule over all the nations, so on and so forth. Salvation, or the nations are going to be saved or preserved for servitude. They're going to be saved or preserved for servitude. They don't receive the salvation that Israel receives. All right. But technically, if you want to say the nations receive salvation to serve Israel and our God, is technically nothing wrong with that. But technically, if you want to say the nations receive salvation to serve Israel and our God, is technically nothing wrong with that. It's technically nothing wrong with that. It's technically nothing wrong with that.
Because he's pulling it out of his ass.
What's happening is everybody's getting caught up in wordplay. So when you say salvation to the nations, or the nations going to be saved, you have to clear that up. You got to say what their saving is going to be for.
He's full of shit.
That's what's going on, is brothers are getting technical with the wordplay, so to speak, for lack of a better expression. Or if you choose to say, listen, I'm not going to use the word salvation or saved when it comes to the nations, because I don't want to confuse Israel. I don't want to confuse the people that I'm saying the Gentiles can be saved, like I'm saying Israel going to be saved. So I'm going to say the Gentiles are going to be preserved, or the Most High is going to have a remnant of the Gentiles, a portion of the Gentiles, to live and be in the kingdom, and they're going to serve the Israelites. That's all it is, Israel. It's simple. Everybody's getting into a tizzy over wordplay.
Can you believe this shit?
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Recha HaKodash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the bishops of Great Millstone. Honors as well to you other elders, you brethren, you fellow believers of this truth. Shalom to you sisters, brethren and sisterin. Shalom to the elect. So anyway, real quick with this video, you have HOI Priest Zabach put himself in the spotlight, as he says he doesn't like collecting the drama, but he debates vocab Malone, right? Our bigger issue is with one another, and this is the problem with the Israelite so-called community. There was a brother that left a comment on my page, or so-called brother, who quoted Genesis video when he said Elder Apostle Tahar said to put the curses on Genesis, right? And that bugs people out. And he says, well, how can you do that to a brother? Something of that nature. And we remember Yahushua pointed to his disciples and said, he who do the will of my Father, that is my brother, my sister, my mother, so forth. You get the point. These guys aren't set in defense of the gospel. We'll get that real quick. No way are they set in defense of the gospel. Let me see if I can find it. Is it, let me see where I'm at. It says here, let me just read this. Ephesians 5:6-7. Let no one deceive you with empty words. For because of such things, God's wrath comes on those who are disobedient. Right? Therefore, do not be partners with them. And this is what these guys do. They want to be partners. They want to be cool. They want to have the unities. They want to agree with everything. And Paul said, Romans 16, mark them which cause divisions contrary to the doctrine. And I also get into this word salvation. I don't know how he pulled that one out his ass, that all of a sudden salvation means, oh, they'll be saved for slavery. You know, that's like, you know, a child who makes excuses for why he committed wrong. You know, a child sibling, his younger brother, he's trying to protect him. So he brings up excuses to the parent to say, oh, yeah, this is why he said what he said. You know, and this is the problem with the so-called black community, men and women. I was going to just say the black woman, so-called, but the men too. Everybody does not want to hold anybody accountable for actions. Everybody just makes excuses, right? Over and over, just multiple excuses for, you know, this kind of ridiculous behavior, right? Philippians 1:15, right? Some indeed preach Yahushua even for envy and strife. That's those Genesis characters, man, you know. Some also for goodwill. You know, I kind of believe priest Zabach is sincere to a degree in what he teaches, but is he really a sincere person for, you know, to allow this kind of behavior? There's no gray area in the truth. There's no, okay, I'm in the middle. I'll accept whatever it is. You be cool, we be cool. It's all good as long as we dab each other up. These should be called the dabbing Israelites, man. The one preached for Christ, Yahushua, for contention, not sincerely supposing to add affliction to my bonds. Right? These guys bring nothing but confusion. You heard it, and I was going to go back into it, but you heard it that they said salvation was for non-Israelites. They did not say salvation was going to be for them to be preserved and be good slaves. If that's the case, why didn't they do that? Also, wouldn't this bring more confusion to the word salvation? So now this man just created more confusion to what salvation actually really means. This is horrible. This is horrible. I forgot what they call it. Study of the Bible, I guess. You know, this is horrible, man. It goes on to say, but the other of love, knowing that I am set for the defense of the gospel. So, you know, is this man in defense of the gospel in his theology of understanding the Bible or hermeneutics, I guess, whatever you want to call it? You know, I thought they was supposed to be defenders of the gospel. Let's go to defense. Oh, I'm in the blue letter. I can just go ahead and look up defense. I'm in defense of the gospel. Let's see what defense mean. We're going to look up quite a few words in this. Apologia. I got a channel called The Real Apologias, right? verbal defense, speech in defense, reasoning statement, or argument was Yahushua in defense of the gospel? Did he allow his words to be skewed in different doctrines? Did Apostle Paul, when he taught, no wonder they hated him, right? Because when you tell the truth, people hate you. And Priest Zabach should know this. When he's out teaching the truth and the so-called black woman come up, right? And a white man comes up with the black woman, which we just still teach the Bible because we don't know if that's an Israelite or not. These guys don't teach that way. And you start telling them the truth, well, they're going to get angry. Don't the Bible say contend for the faith in the book of Jude? But with who? A Christian? Or shall we contend with one another? In fact, when you talk about the house of Israel, we're talking about the people of Israel. When you have a house out of order, what do? You fight. You argue to correct that house. I don't get it, man. These guys are like just puppets. Go along, get along, Israelites. Dab me up, Israelites, for the audience, for the views, the hustle. I believe they all, some form of way, sold out. That's my opinion. Some form of way, whether it's with the government or themselves with the money. Reason, statement, or argument. This is what defense is. I don't care if that's between him and the Lord. When did Yahushua say that? That's between him and the Lord. Didn't he tell the man at the pool to go sin no more? Didn't he go into the temple? What happened at Matthew 23? What if he told the Pharisees, well, that's between you and the Lord with that one. He called them hypocrites, vipers, thieves. He called them all kinds of things. Everything this group Genesis is. This proves that you can have all the knowledge of the scriptures, right, and still be on a low level. You be what you call a slow belly. You're on a low level, man. Anyway, Revelation 22:18. For I testify every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book, if any man shall add unto these things, Yahweh shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. This man just added salvation to the non-Israelites. They're saved for slavery. What the hell? We're going to get into that too. This is weird. This is weird behavior. This is the channel that he did, HOI. Somebody named Mac12 said, Priest Zabach, I paid you for a big, about 24-inch manure. Right? This is what he said. It came home to my home broken in shambles. I mailed it back to you this is 4 days ago, by the way, according to your instructions for replacement. You see all the hustle? See that? Now, we understand keeping it in Israel and trying to keep it going and supporting one another. I'm for all that. But come on, man. These guys just hustle every damn thing. I'm not against the building of the community of the Israelites, and brothers might need herbs and brothers might be sick or brothers might need certain things here or there. Well, come on, man. They selling, IUIC selling shirts without the fringes. So you have to buy the fringes. Anyway, according to your instruction for replacement, you received it and still to this day have not sent me a new one. Brother, I paid about $300 for that manure. When are you going to make it good, brother? See, this is the same. The reason why I pulled this, I read this comment, because this is the mindset of these hustlers. They need everybody to be cool. All these guys are getting rich off your money, man. I'm just being honest. I don't know if you're going to catch it or not. But let me see if there's another comment, right? It says, but they are saying we got to teach repentance to the heathen, Gentiles, or else there would be a potential punishment from the Most High. So why haven't Zabach responded to that? Zabach know what's up, man. Priest Zabach, he know what's up, man. What he's trying to do is just be the peaceable Israelite, right? And it's blessed be the peacemaker, is true. But when it comes to the doctrine and you're destroying the doctrine, there is no peace in that. You're confusing everybody. Let's go here. I'm going to go to 1 Samuel 19:5. We're going to go in the Old Testament. And then we're going to go in the New Testament, the Hebrew and the Greek. Anyway, for it says, for he did put his life in his hand and slew the Philistines. And the Lord wrought a great salvation for all Israel. We see this in Romans 11. I don't know. Well, we're going to go on how salvation is for heathens, just preserved for slavery. That's weird. It seems like they're trying to play two sides of the coin to get the community that's for the Gentiles and the non-Gentiles. Anyway, thou sawest it and didst rejoice. Wherefore, then wilt thou sin against innocent blood to slay David without cause? So we're going to go ahead and hear the salvation. This is what it says. Let's see what it says.
Strong's H 8668. Teshua. Teshua.
Now, we know salvation, Yahawashah, he saves. Right? That's what it is. He saves. How can you put the heathens in the line with Yahawashah? Yeah, that's weird. Salvation, deliverance. So they're going to be deliverance, right? This is what they say. They're going to be delivered, right, to slavery. So we was saved on the slave ships. So every time we got hung, or there was like the Elaine massacres and the Tulsa, Oklahoma, and all these massacres, we were saved just for slavery and destruction. And in a sense, you can be saved for destruction, but salvation, meaning deliverance. So we were delivered for being lynched. But then you got to go into context of deliverance, right? Let's go into the Strongs. 7768. Rescue. All right, rescue. So, yeah, let's look up this word rescue real quick. Rescue, act of saving from danger. So, let me get this straight. The non-Israelites will be saved just to go into slavery from danger. Okay. Confident, confinement, enemies. Okay. Yeah, this is some weird stuff that he just made up that just doesn't look good. Right? Spiritual deliverance. Let's look up deliverance. Action of setting free. So how the hell is slaves going to be saved in salvation for servitude and slavery, but yet be free? This is confusion, as I say, to the brothers and sisters. This is crazy confusion. And what this man has managed to do is make some form of damage control, make excuses for this wicked doctrine that he's technically against, but he's making an excuse for a doctrine that he's technically against. Why it's fresh in my mind? Let's go to the book of Romans, because I may not remember this scripture. Let's go to the book of Romans, the first chapter. And we're going to go about to the last verse. What's the last verse? Romans 1. Let's go to parallel. Romans 1 and 16. Let's see what it says. No, that's Romans 16. I meant Romans 1 and 32. This is what I want to get. Romans 1 and 32. Although they know God's righteousness decree that those who do such things deserve death, they not only continue to do these very things, but also approve of those who practice them. You're just as guilty, priest Zabach. If you're saying you don't agree with everything, but you're still cool with it, it's no big deal, it's a play on words, you're just as guilty. They know God's justice requires that those who do these things deserve to die, yet they do them anyway. Worse yet, they encourage others to do them too. Yep, it's you guys. Anyway, let's go on here. Deliverance, salvation. since it's fresh on my mind again, let's go to Joel. Is it 2? Damn, I can't remember. Joel 2, maybe 32. Yeah, and it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. Is that another word you want to use to save the non-Israelites? They'll be delivered for slavery. See, when you look at the word salvation and deliverance, you cannot ever use that to compare. And that's to say delivered into the hands of their enemies, right? And we were delivered into the hands of the enemies. And this is where you see a form of universalism where words can mean a couple things. But when you bring confusion when it comes to context, there's a problem. Because there's nowhere in the Bible that says the heathen nations will be saved, right, for slavery. You made that up. The heathen nations will have salvation for slavery. You made that up, right? It doesn't say that. Now, as long as you can say, and that's the confusion they bring in. Yeah, they'll be saved for slavery, if you want to say that. Okay, yeah, they're going to be saved for slavery. But when you start looking at the word salvation and deliverance, you cannot connect that in the same context. This is why we have this problem, Gentile. You know, non-Israelites, Israelites. You were once Gentiles. You cannot use the Gentiles in the same context of Israelite foreigners, of the same Gentiles as Israelite heathens. And you would think these people are smart enough to know this. You would think that. Anyway, John 4:22. We're going to go here. Ye worship, ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. So how did it skew into salvation is for the non-Israelites, although the deacon in them say they will actually be saved and part of us. But priest Zabach skews it and say, well, yeah, they're going to be we don't agree with everything, but technically he makes his stand and say, yeah, the salvation, they'll be saved for slavery. You see the confusion? The whole time, this other group is telling you non-Israelites will be saved and they will be with us. But this guy's saying, no, that's not exactly true, but it's a play on words because now the Israelites, they're going to receive salvation for slavery. That's weird. And they don't even agree with that shit. Excuse the language. Well, shit just means ship high in transit. That's why they call fecal matter shit. Anyway, salvation, G4991. Let's see what it says. Let's see what it says.
Strong's G 4991. Soteria.
And this is it, right?
Soteria.
This is it. Now, I cut it off.
Strong's G 4991. Soteria. Soteria.
Soteria is how it's pronounced. And this is what it says. Deliverance, preserved safety. That's what it says. Salvation. Where the hell did all this stuff come from, man? And the people on the Priest Zabach's page is great video, priest. Great video. Way to put it down. This man, Priest Zabach, is encouraging Genesis Israelite to teach the same doctrine. That's why this video is in rebuke to HOI Priest Zabach. That's wicked, man. And then you follow that as wicked. That means you're double-minded. You don't even believe what the hell you teach. Let's go to safety. Freedom. Immunity from harm or danger. So, wait a minute. Is this how it's supposed to be for the Esau too? I mean, so Esau received salvation too, in other words. I don't get this one. Oh, by the way, no, the Lord says he don't want anything with Esau, but he's going to save the other nations. But other nations had their hands in the slavery too. Yeah, this is weird. And it is true. Other nations will come to the kingdom as servants. Let's get that real quick. Real quick. Isaiah 14. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them. Those strangers are not heathens. There's another word, is sojourners. I mean, you have words as sojourners. When I looked up sojourners, this is the main reason why he said the second commandment, love thy neighbors as thyself. Some of them didn't have very much, and you had to love them, right? If they came to sojourn with you at the Passover or whatever, you had to take care of them because they didn't have much. You see what I'm saying? And this word is join with them, meaning to unite on one accord. So this is not heathens. Going to the older Bible, it'll really clear all that up. And they shall cleave with the house of Jacob, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them. So when you make up this excuse of salvation for the non-Israelites, but you make it in terminology as for them being saved for slavery, you bring confusion, because now we got to ask, well, what is this? Is it for slavery, or their salvation for slavery, or salvation for the Israelites? So now he even made up a remnant for the 2/3. No, the remnant comes to the elect. This is weird, man. This is very weird. Ain't no remnant of the heathens. All of them going into captivity, as Jeremiah 30 and 16 say. I couldn't believe he said half of this stuff, man. Servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Every one of them shall go into captivity. Oh, only a remnant is going to be preserved to do, like, I guess a remnant of Esau is going to be preserved to be destroyed too, right? This makes no sense. And this takes away the power, the truth of our authority as Israelites and leaders of the new world to come. That's all I have on that show.